What's up, Pokemon fans? My name is Vanilla, and today we're going to make it to the first gym in a Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. Now, for those of you wondering what is a Pokemon Nuzlocke, I'll give you a rundown of the rules. But before I do, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button and enable notifications. You don't pay a cent for watching my videos, and it's completely optional to unsubscribe if you don't feel it's worth it. With that out of the way, a Nuzlocke run is essentially a challenge run where you add self-imposed rules that make the Pokemon games more difficult. The rules are as follows. Number 1, I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter on a route, meaning that if I knock it out by accident, I can no longer catch Pokemon on that route. Second of all, any Pokemon that faint is considered dead, and I can no longer use them. So theoretically, if I lose a Pokemon battle, the run is over, and I must delete my save file and start again. And lastly, I must nickname any Pokemon that I catch. This will make me more attached to the digital critters, and if they die, it'll be that much more painful. There are some optional rules that people use, such as no in-battle items, no using anything stronger than a Great Ball, anything like that. But I feel that the rules I'm using are solid enough for a first time finishing the run on my own. Also, obviously, I'll not be using any glitches in this game, so no clipping out of bounds and skipping everything. I've gotten about halfway through these Nuzlocke runs before, but I've never actually finished a Nuzlocke run on my own, so I figured I'd share my experience with the world. Also, I want to thank LukeTheNotable because I totally did not steal his format in any way here, I swear. And with that out of the way, let's begin. I start off any fresh save file like I would. I get questioned by gender identity. Don't worry, he's from a different generation of Pokemon. I give him my private information and introduce him to Barry, my best friend. Once the game begins, I immediately change my settings so that the text scrolls much faster. This is a major quality of life thing, and Gen 4 noticeably drags on when the text is at its default speed. So, after that, I run into Barry, who was apparently broken in my house. Nah, but it's cool, because we're going hunting for a professor. After my mom tells me not to go running around the neighbor's lawn, I check in on Barry, who crashes right into me. Not gonna lie, I think he does it on purpose. Once we head to Route 201, Barry has the amazing idea of running through the neighbor's lawn in order to skip over to Sandgem Town, because our country's tree-named professor lives there. Barry figures that by begging the professor, he'll give us Pokemon, and before I can even say anything, he tries to run into the grass with no Pokemon of his own. Luckily, Professor Rowan was right behind us at the lakefront, and after seeing how irresponsible Barry and I am towards our physical well-being, he offers us pets with superpowers. Great idea. This is where Rowan offers our starter Pokemon: Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. I chose Chimchar for this attempt because Infernape's one of the strongest starters, period, as well as one of the best Generation 4 Pokemon that isn't a legendary. After Rowan runs off back to his lab, his assistant Dawn runs after him, and Barry finally challenged me to a Pokemon battle. And while Barry decided to have his Piplup spam Growl the first 6 turns of the battle, he somehow almost beat me. Almost. After that ordeal, I went back home and rested up, and my mom scolded me for being careless. She asked me to go thank Professor Rowan, which I said do with Barry, but he has another plan. So me and Barry go to the Verity Lake, where a rumored legendary Pokemon lay at rest. We plan on catching the sneaky myth to impress Rowan, but we get sidetracked by this weird Vegeta cosplayer. Oh yeah, we don't have any Pokeballs. So now Barry runs off to ask Rowan what to do next, and I walk over patiently. Also, I beat up some Pokemon. Once I got to Rowan's lab, he offered me a chance to nickname my Chimchar. I named it Goku. Seemed fitting. Now that I have a Pokedex, I can go and grab some items at my local mart, and challenge officially begins. And I go back to Route 201 and immediately catch a Starly that I named Tony Hawk. And then I realized it was a girl. No well, her name will be Tanya Hawk for the foreseeable future. I knew there was some tall grass over at Lake Verity, so I ran over there and found another Starly. But here's where the rules have some exceptions. Since I already caught a Starly, I can invoke the duplicate clause and knock out the Starly in exchange for it not counting as my one encounter on a route. I chose not to invoke it this time, because the Starly I caught here was not only 2 levels higher, making it much easier, but it was a male. Now he would be Tony Hawk. I go tell my mom that I'm leaving to save the universe, and then Barry's mom asked me to be her errand boy. So I go Route 202, where Dawn teaches me to do something I already know how to do. And I go on and catch a Bidoof that I named Primus, because he's a big brown Bidoof. By this point, Goku's level 7 in November, so I can burn away all the Pokemon trainers and head on to Jubilife City. I drop off the parcel to Barry, which he exchanged for a town map, and I talk to this man named Looker, who's completely irrelevant to the story, I swear. And finally, I collect 3 tickets to win the Poketch. You probably never need to use it on video, but it exists. Trust me here. I run over to west of Jubilife, we can get the Old Rod, which will let me fish for a Magikarp on Route 218 at level 7. Perfect! Magikarp only knows Splash until she becomes level 15, and she won't evolve until she's level 20, so I'll have to switch train. But it'll be much easier now that she's closer to evolution. She'll be known as Carp, all lowercase. I also go north of Jubilife to battle some trainers and catch a Badoo. Badoo is a Pokemon near and dear to my Nuzlocke challenges. In my most recent attempt, Badoo ended up being the first Pokemon I lost after it one-shot both Roark's Geodude and Onix, but got one-shot by Roark's Cranidos. I decided to name the Badoo after that previous one, Weed Eater. All lowercase, but all coolness. I also caught a Zubat, which I named Rouge. Then I decided to use my old rod to fish up some more Magikarp, which means getting Weed Eater some good experience points. Badoo already knows Absorb, which means that taking care of these Magikarp will be a piece of cake. After healing up, I went on and battled my rival again. After stomping his Starly with Goku, I switched out for Weed Eater, who almost died to Piplup after a critical hit left him with 1 HP in a dream. But I took the dub. I was scared, but I took the dub. I went back, healed up, before going on the Route 203, where I encountered a Shinx that had the ability Intimidate. This is one of the best early game catches you can get in Platinum, because it has Intimidate, which is great against NPC trainers. I caught it, and I named it Tari. If you don't get it, you're too young. I decided to level up my Pokemon in this area with the trainers, and then I ran into the specific one, Last Caitlyn. She has a team of 4 Pokemon, most of which were under level 5, but the one with them was an Abra. Because Abra only knew Teleport, I could stack up on Weed Eater's move Growth, which meant that I could basically stomp any of her Pokemon if absorbed at half their HP. I got the HM for Rock Smash from this Mountain Man, and I made it to Orberg City. This is an area where I tend to have lots of punishment from the game. If this is a time where I most frequently lost a Pokemon, it was in this gym against the leader, Rourke. Now I couldn't face him right away because he went to the mine to train, so I decided to first run over Route 207 to catch a trained Pokemon. And I caught a Ponyta, which I named V8 Mustang. Now we're running on horsepower. Tony Hawk got some EXP, and Goku evolved at level 14 into Monferno. He learned Mach Punch. Mach Punch has priority, like Quick Attack, meaning I can land the first hit on our opponent. So, once Rourke was ready to battle, I finished battling the trainers in the mine and ran into a Geodude, which I planned on catching, but Weed Eater was too much of a hoss and one-shot it. So much for that. Then I ran into the Orberg gym and beat up 2 gym trainers with Weed Eater, who had learned Mega Drain at level 13. And with that, I took a deep breath and challenged Rourke. Weed Eater immediately laid waste to Rourke's Pokemon without losing any HP, but then Rourke sent in his final Pokemon, Cranidos. Cranidos' headbutt was what one-shot my previous Bidoof in another run, so I clenched my cheeks, and this happened. Please, 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 please. Oh my god. Oh, wait, it didn't one-shot. Had the headbutt been a critical hit, I was a goner. But with that extra little bit of hope, I was able to get off the Mega Drain, which put a big dent in Cranidos, bringing me to basically the full HP and forcing Rourke to burn his 1 potion. 2 more Mega Drains, and I won without losing a single Pokemon. After about an hour and a half of playtime, I had 2 Pokemon in mid-level teens, and 2 Pokemon I could use as backup. And I'll be ending the video here. This seemed like a great place to start, and it seems like a great place to end. This kind of video format's a bit of an experiment for me. As a New Year's resolution, I wanted to make more videos with consistent topics, so making this a series instead of making it a singular run, I felt like I could handle that better. Also, I feel like the highlight format is much better so that I can focus on doing one thing at a time than having to make sure it fits within a time slot. If you liked that video, don't forget to share it with your friends. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and click the notification bell. And like I said, it's completely free, and you don't have to stay if you don't like it. Until then, my name's Vanilla, and I'll see you next time.